Welcome back to another episode. So last time I've been starting on the super smelter here. I'd gotten all the redstone done, including the bamboo towers that are now inside the decorated towers. And so obviously, as you can see, I've been doing a lot of work since then. I designed this in Creative and then just copy and pasted it pretty much onto every single one of the towers, which took a lot longer than expected and a lot more materials than expected. As it turns out, building 8 different towers is like a lot of work and a lot of materials, so that was quite the grind. But I just kind of hammered it out before I even started the episode, so I could kind of show you guys what I was starting with and what the design was gonna start looking like. I guess you could call these like smokestack towers or whatever. You know, in like power plants or like nuclear reactors, they have the big towers, which I think is where actually steam comes out of. So it's not really smoke; it's like steam from water that they're boiling, and then the steam spins some turbines, and that's how it actually powers things. Which is kind of weird. Nuclear reactors are just big boiling pots. So I guess that's kind of what we're doing here, but with like 8 different towers, and I think it's a pretty good design. I'm not exactly 100% happy with it, but I had to make some small sacrifices. Like normally in those towers, they kind of wide at the bottom, they curve up, and then they curve out, right? And so it would have been nice to do that gradually across the whole design. But we obviously have an actual like redstone mechanical system in there doing our bamboo. And so I had to keep it pretty straight up here. And I didn't want to go wide on the bottom because we want to shove them close to each other. So uh, couldn't go wide on the bottom, had to go pretty straight up so that the redstone mechanics on the inside could fit. And then when we did get to the top where it ended, we curved it a little bit and went out to kind of give that shape that one of those towers might have. And I think it turned out pretty good. We put little flower pots, yeah, up on the top of these, like pipes kind of running up the side or something. Maybe they're also putting off steam or some other chemical that's getting dropped off into the air, and or maybe it's doing something else on the top. I don't know. And then we've got orange going along these sides here, which I think is really cool. Accent piece with some glass, kind of make it look maybe like it's lighting up or something without actual lights behind it. I don't know why it would be lighting up, but you know, it just kind of fits with the color theme that we're going around here. I didn't want it to be too bland. So I think it looks good from that perspective. And I did put some campfires in here, which is what I kind of had to redo a little bit. Before I had way more campfires on the top because I was making them like really smoky. And in my creative world, it was fine when it was just one tower. As it turns out, though, when you put that much campfires into every single one of these, you do it 8 times, it's a lot of smoke. And Minecraft can only hold so many particles before it starts lagging like heck. So I decided to bring it down to just 4 per smokestack tower, and I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, I wanted as many as I could in here, right? Because it's a big tower; it should be producing lots of smoke, not just one thin little thing. And so I kind of put in this little formation to kind of give it the feel that it's a big plume of smoke instead of smaller ones. But I might even reduce it less. We'll have to see just how much the lag impact is. I did a little bit of a test when I was redoing how many I had in here. I got rid of them all to begin with, so that it like had nothing, and then I checked the frames, and then I put them back in, and then checked the frames that I was getting after that, kind of looking directly into like both sides of this to have them all in the camera view to see how much lag it would cause as a whole, and it was reducing it by like 10 plus frames. So it's not great. So we might even reduce it from 4 to maybe 2 per. I don't know how I would do that. Just get rid of 2 of them or something, and maybe even just do one if we wanted to. But it's good enough right now. It's not lagging it out where it's going under 60, which is kind of like my threshold for what I'm doing. So maybe later on, if things get laggy, we'll reduce it. But yeah, I had to reduce it originally. So the next big thing that I got to kind of plan out here for the design of this place is how to cover up all these rails here, obviously, to actually cover up the super smelter. I thought it'd be cool if we could have some glass over it or something so we can kind of see it working, at least from in here in the main control area, some glass or something like that. But we'll still need some maybe grass or over other parts. And then we also need something for this main room here where you're actually going to come in and do the smelting, right? So this is the drop-off chest. I showed that last episode where it'll get picked up by the hopper mine carts and brought out. And then over here is the deposit chest that it's going to be deposited into, rather. So we just gotta kind of design a building around it. I guess it doesn't have to be too big, but I want it to kind of fit the same theme that we got for these towers. Maybe add some pipes running from the main building to over to the towers. I thought that would be kind of cool. And this is the part that I haven't actually designed in creative. These towers I had designed in creative because I needed to know how wide they were going to be for when I was planning out where to put the redstone stuff. But the main building, I have no idea. So I'm just going to kind of wing it. Maybe I'll show you halfway through. Maybe I'll show you when I'm all the way done. Probably all the way done, because that's how I kind of do things here. I spend little bits of time where I can in my schedule on doing it, and then I just show you at the end when it's all done. But yeah, I guess there's not too much else. I'll just get right to it. So now I actually have the actual main building done, which is pretty darn cool. I just kind of finished it up in my spare time, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. We've got this glass dome that I kind of like at the back over here. We've got like smaller tubes and then like a bigger tube thing, or like half tube, I guess. It's not a full tube. Little half circle Meduse, and then you got like pipes running up the side, little like chimney things or something. I don't know why, but like kind of cool. And you got the orange from the towers kind of sharing it, and then you got a little bit of blue in the main building, which might be a little off, just because nothing else has it quite. But like buildings next to it, right, have the blue, so I think it looks fine, and it also kind of shows that it's more special than the surrounding towers. Also, that it's a different shape would show that it's different from all the surrounding towers, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Over here on the sides where we have the rails going underneath here, I kind of had to put the dirt up this high. I was thinking about either making it like part of the building or just making it grass, and so I had to decide between the two, and I decided that we just have it grass, and so we kind of had to go off into cliffs on the side over here where it didn't naturally do that, and go down over here, and I think it turned out pretty well for that. Can't really tell from the outside that it's not meant to be that way. It just kind of looks like there used to be a hill there or something, that it's resting on. And then over on this side, it was much easier because it was the land was pretty much already there, and some of the towers go down over here, and yeah, so this side much easier. The other side, we had to finagle a little bit with the dirt to make it look natural, but it turned out right. And the actual inside here is pretty darn simple. So we've got these glass look down areas where you can see the carts go back and forth. You can't quite see it all the way down. I could have made the building bigger or had the walls go out more, but the thing is that you can see that this wall comes down over here pretty close to where this tower is already, right? There's only a block in between. And so I couldn't move it much further this way to get better visibility. So we're working with the best we got, and it's good enough to just kind of see how things are going. You got your deposit chest and the receiving chest over here. And then you got your little outlook area, which I think is kind of cool. I didn't know what to do with the back here, and then for some reason I thought of a quarter dome. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And so you can kind of look out into nature. I guess we can't build anything over here anymore because I want to keep the view. So we'll have to build things elsewhere if we want to build new things. And then over here is our maintenance shaft, which is kind of cool. You go down, and then you see all the mess. So we've got the cart running along here on the bottom to pick things up. It's always running because it never knows when the machine is like done or finished or whatever. So I guess it'll cause maybe a little bit of lag or something. And then the carts up here will always be running on the side. Right now, some of them aren't running because there isn't enough bamboo to actually put it into the system quite yet. The systems just don't have enough. So yeah, there'll also be running carts over there. So it may cause some lag in those regards, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it's still daytime. And so yeah, I think I got everything pretty much ready to actually try it out now to see if it works. We've got enough bamboo and all these hoppers pretty much to last us at least a little while. This like second row of hoppers isn't filled up yet, but like the first row is on each side, and of course the furnaces themselves. And so we should be able to smelt up a bunch. I got some things to smelt, and we could just test it on out. So what we have here is, I think this is 11 stacks of iron ore plus 27, and then 2 stacks of gold and plus 30. So we're just gonna drop this all in. Drop in the gold. And then we'll see the carts going out on the side. You saw that pretty quickly there. They pulled it out pretty quickly. And so it's already deposited all in that row. It's picking up some more. And now it goes out again and goes out again. And so we're going away. We're smelting things. And so eventually things will start popping up over here. That's the idea anyways. We can actually go down and see the furnaces running. Yep, there was the things pushing them up. You could hear that for a little bit. So, oh, I see. Because they're different items, it's not going to smelt right away until it gets picked up. That is interesting. I didn't even think about that. So I guess this thing does better when it's only smelting one thing at a time. Otherwise, it's slightly slower than normal. It's still going to be divided up evenly, of course. It just, I guess, gets clogged up every once in a while. But hopper minecart will pick it on up. And it should do a pretty good job. I had some trouble in creative when it was picking things up. It didn't always pick it up evenly. So I guess we'll have to see how that works. See if we get it back quick enough. Otherwise, I was thinking about adding another hopper minecart down below where we pick up, so it was 2 instead of just 1 doing the job, separated into 2 different tracks or something. So we've already got quite a lot back. I guess we'll put the gold down here just to separate it. And obviously we want to get our whole 11 plus 27 and 2 plus 30 stacks back to make sure that nothing gets lost anywhere. And yeah, I guess it's all working good. This is the first time I've tested it here in survival. I thought I'd do it on camera just to be risky. But yeah, everything's looking good. Also, yeah, I should show you. We've got little scaffolding going up, 4 different areas for the 4 different towers on each side, so you can get up into the towers if you need to. And then sometime I've got to do maintenance on it soon, because I haven't done it since I built it. So there's going to be some pieces like that that's grown but not chopped because of the issues I talked about last episode. But obviously, sometimes it just doesn't get messed up, and then it's all fine, which is cool. Yeah, and pistons are all good on that side. So yeah, everything's still working for the most part. You just need some maintenance every once in a while. And we'll head on back up. See how we're doing. It's getting late, so let's head to bed. And also, I should mention while we're waiting for everything to smelt, I still want to do some more building before I finish things off here. Now that I've actually got the main building done, this area, right, and the towers and everything, the main construction is all done, but I want to kind of pretty up around, maybe add some things in between where the towers are, to make it look a bit nicer instead of just flat. You know, some, like, maybe a tree or some bushes or grass, even just like tall grass, you know, something like that. Make a pathway coming from in between the sheep area and these towers. Over here, we'll make a pathway. That's kind of the plan. It's a little tight, but it'll work. I guess we'll have to make the path come down over here. Probably get rid of the cows. Move it along this way. And then go over to the super smelter. And then also up to the cow cannon. And yeah, that's kind of the plan. So hopefully everything is smelted now. That's the plan. And it looks so, yeah. So that should be 11 plus 27 and 2 plus 30. So we didn't lose any. Everything worked. I don't know exactly how quick that was compared to what normally it would be. Obviously, it was a lot quicker. I don't know how it compares to other super smelters or anything. I think it was pretty good, though. And from what I can tell, it picked it up all pretty quick. There didn't seem to be issues. It didn't take longer than I thought it was going to. So I'm going to say success. And actually, before we finish things off here, I just want to see, before we had that empty in this, so we've lost about a stack bamboo, I'd say, right? That's like half and half. Half was taken out here, and yeah, maybe just half a stack or something. So we didn't go through all that much bamboo, doing that much ore, so that's pretty good. So if we were to fill this thing up all the way, I'm pretty sure a super smelter could handle it with all the extra on the sides, most certainly. And we might even be able to hold more than a double chest worth going through the system at once, but I don't know if I'll ever have that much to smelt all at once. Maybe sand into glass all there, but yeah, it turned out pretty well. We didn't really need the iron, to be honest. That's why I hadn't smelted it in a while. We got the iron farm. But, the gold was nice to get, using it up for all those rails in there, so getting a little bit back by smelting it in there. That's pretty cool, and I guess I'll start prettying up things around here, making some paths, and I'll be back when I finish things off. So I've just about finished everything up now. I've got all these paths in, leading to all the different places that we wanted, and I've also decorated it a little bit. So I put some bushes in the front over here, as you can tell, with some nice little blue flowers. I forget what they're called. The cornflower, yeah. I thought they kind of complemented it nicely. We got a little bit of blue, so it kind of goes with it. I was thinking about orange flowers because that's a lot of what's around here, but I think maybe that was too much. So I think the blue is a nice contrast. And I like how I did the bushes here. I did them a little bit different than I have elsewhere. I used birch leaves for the first time, and I used some spruce leaves also kind of mixed together. And I think it kind of gives it a cool look. And yeah, it's kind of nice. And then in between where all these towers are, just in between the towers, I just bone mealed the grass a bunch. So it's kind of hectic and crazy, but I imagine that the space in between these towers would kind of be hectic and crazy. No one's going to bring the lawnmower down over here and mow that area. It's just going to kind of just get overgrown and whatnot. So that's also how it looks on the other side over there. It's not too much different. Yeah, hectic and crazy again. And then I also made this custom tree here, which I think is my favorite. Like, out of all of them that I've been making, this is probably the best one I've made yet, which is a good sign that I'm getting better at it. I still don't think it's quite perfect. I've kind of learned that you don't want to make perfect, like, balls of leaves on top of, the tree stump that you made. Then it just kind of looks boring or too perfect or something like that. You want it to look messy. So you got like little bits kind of coming out or sticking out in weird spots. It isn't just perfectly round. So it gives a little bit more frazzled of a look, I guess, like a tree would. And then I made it a little bit droopy. I guess that's maybe just aesthetic style, but I think that looks good. And then also I removed a little bit from under here at the bottom. So you kind of get more of a look into the branch system. And I think that's kind of important because on real trees, leaves are obviously meant to absorb the sunlight. And so they're usually just on the outside of the tree. There's like sort of a bubble layer on the outside where all the leaves are, and maybe a little bit inwards, where there's still sunlight. But eventually, there's not enough sunlight to make sense for leaves to be, under here at the bottom. But in Minecraft, we don't have any blocks that'd be good for like small branches or anything. We only can make big branches. And so where small branches would be, we just kind of have to fill with leaves and pretend like it looks good. So yeah, I've kind of learned some things for trees, I guess, and I think it looks pretty darn good. I mean, it's a lot better than the other stuff I've been making. But it's still not perfect, so, learning experience, I guess, but yeah. It's looking good, and then the pathway, we just kind of made a boring pathway up to where the cow farm is. Maybe I'll pretty it up somehow eventually. I didn't really know what to do with it, though, because the mountain was kind of weirdly shaped around it. But I think it's fine for getting the job done. And then the pathway around over here is actually really nice. I like how it goes up and looks and stuff. And so I think that part turned out really nice, this pathway. And then we have the pathway continuing on over here and down over this way where it didn't before. And I didn't really pretty up the sides or anything around here. Maybe I should have, but I didn't really know what to do. And I'm thinking about putting something over here eventually. So I didn't want to cover up that spot. But yeah, I think that's it for kind of prettying up around the super smelter. And we did a lot this episode. We built these giant towers and the whole thing, practically. And I think it turned out pretty darn well. So I guess that's it. I hope you're having a good day and continue to have a good day. Bye-bye.